It's good.
Do we need hats?
We always need hats.
We always need hats?
We always need hats. Joey, fetch hats.
Fetch hats.
Fetch hats, Joey.
Fetch hats.
Someone didn't silence their phone.
That's not a hat. That's your underwear.
I mean, if you think about Master of Disguise, he uses it as he puts it on his head. Joey, that's how he gets his father to recognize him. That's how he gets his father to snap out of it. He puts the underwear on his head, Joey. It's a very moving moment. I mean, that's an Oscar nominee scene. Were you not touched and moved by it?
Where'd you put your hat?
He doesn't like that movie. I get the feeling Joey doesn't like Masters of Disguise. At least there's not underwear on my head.
I was thinking about it.
I know you were.
And then I decided against it.
Yeah? What was the reasoning? Not wanting to touch my underwear?
No. The reasoning was...
Because you wanted to touch my underwear, but resisted the urge to. I get it. I honestly do. I get it.
And you would have been like, this isn't funny, Joey. It's not comical.
It would have been pretty funny. You missed an opportunity.
Whatever.
I mean, you don't do a setup.
Fuck me if I don't. Fuck me if I do. So
you're just gonna get fucked.
I'm just gonna get fucked.
You're gonna be the little spoon no matter what. Fucking teaspoon.
What the fuck is a teaspoon? Oh, you mean a
Yes! Yes!
I thought you meant a teaspoon.
No, that's a cross. These are the new Jesus spoons. Scoop for Jesus.
That is not a cross.
No, it's a cross, but then you got the little spoon, the spoon at the end.
It's got a spoon up
Yeah,
here.
it's a crucifix spoon.
Oh. I think I'm wearing this wrong. There we go. I was wearing it like way up here, like showing the front of my forehead. And
Don't ever do that. Don't ever show the front of your forehead. Ever.
Is there a way to show the back of your forehead?
Yeah, it's called shave your head and turn around.
That's the back of your head, though.
What the fuck else do you want from me? I gave you an answer. Be satisfied with it. Shut up. I'm reading here.
No, you're not. Not yet.
Give me a second.
It's a beautiful day.
It's a very quiet afternoon, as always. Since I can't go outside myself, I have to match schedules with Mia when I go shopping. I've gotten used to it by now, so it's no longer a hassle. Because of this, I naturally have to buy things in bulk. Today, I shuttle between shops in my home. I got this, I got that. Oh, wait! Isn't it 100 yen sale day today? I forgot this. Being in a good mood, I spun around with my arms spread out. I felt like a little whirlwind. My arm hit a motorcycle parked in the sidewalk. It obviously wasn't where it was supposed to be. Ow! What the? Who parked this motorcycle here? I give it a kick with no hesitation! There were 3 motorcycles lined up there in a row. They all fell like dominoes. It was a beautiful sight. This is fun, I thought. Being in such a good mood made me leave my guard down. I didn't realize that the owners of the motorcycles were right nearby. They looked pretty scary. They grabbed me by the neck and dragged me into a dark alley. Then they called me all kinds of names. Everything was happening too quickly for me to grasp what was going on. The fuck are you, bitch? What you think you're doing? Huh?
Doesn't this
Fucking bashing your head in, bitch! Ah! Gotta pay for what you did! Whoa. They can't really talk properly. I didn't have a clue what they were saying. I had to translate their alien tongue into normal human words in order to understand. We are very upset because you knocked down our motorcycles. You should immediately pay for the repair and compensation. Yeah, that was probably it. That's our offer. What do you say? We'd be happy to listen to your opinion. Something like that? What is that? Sorry. I don't think I can continue interpreting. What you saying?
What you say?
I know what they're trying to say, but somebody has to warn them about the way they park their motorcycles. It wouldn't be fair to those who obey the rules if there were no punishment for those who disobey them. This is an accident, but it must also be God's will. But God, you can use me to punish these guys, but how will you compensate me later? I heaved a huge sigh. Of course, I wasn't afraid in this situation at all, because it wasn't a dangerous one for me. These three guys were yelling at the top of their lungs at a girl. They didn't look good doing it, and they had too many disadvantages. First, there was the differences in gender and in the number of people. Even if I did something wrong as men shouting at a woman, it didn't make them look like they were in the right. Added to that, there were three of them. It already looked like it was going to get violent. Second, the location. Taking a girl into a dark, narrow alleyway is already a bad idea, and on top of that, they're asking for money, not as an apology. Thanks to these facts, the public will be on my side. So this was a fight they couldn't possibly win. The only way for them to win would be to take my money before somebody finds out. Considering that, taking me to this narrow, secluded alleyway might have been a smart move, since fewer people will find out about this situation.
You listening or not?
I knew how slim their chances of winning were. From the very beginning, they had picked the wrong girl. I'm Mion Sonozaki now. It'd be foolish to mug her in Okinomiya. Soon enough, the people of Inamizawa would notice me and gather round. They don't spare mercy for their enemies no matter what. The punks didn't know this area well. If they did, they'd have known how silly it was to rob Mion. Plus, the LOA isn't always as empty as they assumed. This side street is a shortcut which local people frequently use on their way home. In the late afternoon, many people will be passing through here. That time had almost arrived. If I held off a little longer, the street would soon be filled with people. Then the punks would have to go away. I didn't have to do anything. I just had to wait in order to win. This was a simple fight like that. While they could hurl abusive language at me or lift me up by my collar, they weren't actually going to resort to violence. Cheers to the educational system for ingraining the ladies first mindset. But as a wicked person, I wanted to toy with them a bit, even though I could win this by waiting. I wanted to paint them as even more villainous and drive them into a corner that would be even harder to talk their way out of. That demonic desire was rearing its horns. To put it plainly, I'd only need to act as the poor, helpless victim a little further. Like the pathetic, pitiful, tragic heroine everyone wants to sympathize with. In a case like this, I shouldn't start crying immediately because they'd get nervous and draw back. If it were truly a threatening situation, that would work. But I needed something different here. I'd pretend to be strong at first. In fact, I thought, why don't I challenge them? And eventually I'd start trembling, my voice would fade, and I'd get tears in my eyes. It'd be even better if I played the role of a strong girl who's slowly giving into fear. Mion and I are probably the only ones who are capable of pulling that kind of stuff off. Well, I'm probably better than her. Why don't you let me go now? I already apologized! I talked back with a little hesitation. Am I getting tears yet? Yes! By the way, I've heard men can't shed tears on command. I feel sorry for them. The three punks faltered a bit due to my sudden change in attitude, but soon they started yelling at me again. Had to keep it going. That way they blatantly look like they're picking on a helpless girl. Please, forgive me!
What you doing? What is this girl, huh?
I don't... Oh.
Maybe you should apologize for that from the start.
Looked like they were laying off a bit. Did I overdo it a little? It'd be boring if they let me go now. At that moment... Cut it out! Don't you see her crying? Stop it! A boy around my age appeared. He was skinny. He looked weak. He looked younger than he probably was. He also looked smart. He bravely glared at the punks. What the hell? Who the fuck are you? Back the fuck off! The punks turned away from me to face the boy instead. The boy looked a bit agitated when the punks started yelling at him. They sure were ruthless. But the boy must have known that from the beginning. He must have known that he was going into a dangerous situation, yet he didn't hesitate.
Fucking say something! Why don't you answer us?
He must have wanted to shout back at them. But he'd probably never used that kind of language in his life, so he couldn't have expressed his feelings out loud. He might not even know what to say, so he just kept on glaring at them.
With this open mouth.
To let them know that he wasn't going anywhere. The three punks, though, might have thought he was just lost for words in his fear. But I knew different. The boy was overpowering them with nothing but his will. The punks were losing, so they resorted to violence. They grabbed him and knocked him down. They hit, kicked, and tossed him around. It looked painful, but I knew. It was his victory. And as he lays dead on the ground, he won. In the end, local passerby stopped the punks. They made no further fuss and just went away. The boy stood up. He was covered in dust. He smiled when our eyes met.
Oh god.
And asked me if I was alright. Is it just me? Or does Satoshi look almost identical to that fucking kid from Clannad, the friend?
Yeah.
It's like, I want to do his voice, but I don't know if I can. It's very raspy. It's very raspy voice. I don't think I could do his voice.
You got it.
I'll do my best. He didn't look particularly okay himself, though. How could you step into a fight you obviously couldn't win? Pick your opponents better next time. I hesitated at first. No. No. I can't do that voice.
You can't do that voice justice.
No, I really can't. That's a voice I have to work on.
Yeah.
I can't do it out of the blue. Let me try a different one. I hesitated at first. He laughed, saying that he was watching from the beginning. That meant he had the option to walk away, but instead he worked up the courage and stepped in. That was reckless, not brave. You're being a little harsh, Mion. You should at least say thank you. I saw you crying. I wasn't crying. That was just an act. Okay. Hey! You don't believe me, do you? You really think I'd cry? No. Nobody believes Mion Sonozaki would cry when punks bullied her. Why are you laughing? Really don't believe that was an act? I'd never cry. I believe you, I do. I'd realized one thing. He must be one of Sis's friends. He didn't seem to realize I'm her twin. He thought I was Mion with a different hairstyle. Mion and I had to live separately since we went to elementary school. Mion was in Anamizawa, and I was in Okinomiya. I lived in a totally different environment from her. So it's not strange that people don't know me. Actually, only very few people know I exist. I almost told him that I'm not Mion, but I managed to stop myself. Shion shouldn't be here. He's from Anamizawa. It wouldn't be good if he saw a Mion lookalike in Okinomiya, so I had to act like Mion. Dealing with him could be more difficult than handling those punks. Well, I was just relieved because you seem to have a girly side after all. You sound hostile. What exactly do you mean by that? I thought you kicked those guys' butts with some crazy martial arts. So I was really surprised when you just started crying. Hey! Like I said, I was acting! Weren't you listening at all? Alright,
Hi there.
take it back a step. He gently put his hand on top of my head and stroked it as if stroking a kitten. I can remember somebody doing that to me when I was little, but it had been quite a while since somebody stroked my head. I didn't know what to do. Why did it make me so embarrassed? My face reddened all at once. I couldn't say anything. Hey, you making fun of me? I stuttered in embarrassment. He looked calm, as if he was used to doing this. Whatever. Aren't you glad, though? Glad? What do you mean? You didn't get hurt. He smiled while he kept stroking my head. His smile looked divine. He wasn't going to stay for long. He'd already saved me from those guys after all. Well, I need to be going, so I should head off now. Okay. I wanted to go through all the steps of meeting someone for the first time, but he didn't. As far as he was concerned, he just saved a friend from danger and wanted to leave quickly to avoid seeming pretentious. He and Mion must be friends who knew each other well. So I couldn't bring myself to ask, "What's your name?" Mion's friend smiled once again. His smile looked as refreshing as a clear blue sky. This time, he smiled a bit mischievously. Don't worry. I won't tell anybody you were crying. Well, nobody would believe me if I told them anyway. Nobody would ever believe that our invincible class president cried. He patted the dust off his butt once again. He walked back to the sunny main road, away from the dark alley. And he turned around. See ya. In school tomorrow, I mean. Yeah. See you in school. He disappeared to the brightly lit street. I continued to sit in the gloomy alleyway. I could no longer see him. I was just staring absent-mindedly at the bright light. That was the first time I met Satoshi-kun.
Finally met Satoshi.
I'm not even allowed to walk freely under the sun. I met a boy on a sunny day. How come a perverse girl like me fell in love with his innocence? Notebook page 5.
Huh?
That's different. That must be Satoshi. He looks like what you described, and he has a habit of stroking people's heads. Uh-huh. His name is Satoshi-kun, eh? The boy from earlier is called Satoshi Hojo-kun. Mion said that he's always daydreaming, so she didn't believe that he saved me at first. His little sister is always kicking his butt. Uh-huh. He has a little sister? Yeah. Her name is Satsuko. She's funny and shrewd, but is quick to cry when she's cornered. She's fun to watch, but things have been rough for her lately, so she's feeling a bit down. His sister came up naturally in the conversation. I tried to soak up every scrap of information about Satoshi-kun. Why? Why am I trying to ask so much about him? As I asked myself that, the feeling I got when he stroked my head came back to me. I must have been blushing. Hello? Shion? Sorry. I'm here, I'm listening. To start, I hear Satsuko's on bad terms with her aunt. Satoshi's mature, so he knows how to conduct himself, but when bad things happen, Satsuko really lets herself go. What Sis told me was very interesting. She told me that the parents of Satoshi-kun and his little sister are dead. Satoshi-kun and Satsuko are now living with their uncle and aunt. They don't seem like very respectable people. They're always fighting, and the uncle is cheating on the aunt. He mostly lives with his mistress. Satoshi-kun and Satsuko entered into that unwelcome environment. What surprises me the most is the fact that Satoshi-kun's parents were the Hojo couple who were the leaders of the pro-dam activists. That fact must have added something to the situation. I don't know what kind of stance the uncle and aunt took during the dam conflict, but they must have taken some indirect blows. Satoshi-kun's parents died after bothering them so much, and even left them their children. The uncle and aunt obviously can't love those kids. Things have gotten worse this past year, too. Women can be really nasty bullies. Sometimes it doesn't matter who they're bullying, even if it's a kid. On top of that, women tend to care less about propriety than men. As a result, Satsuko seems exhausted with it all. I can imagine Satoshi-kun bravely protecting his little sister, just like when he saved me. So, he must be exhausted too, right? Huh? He must be covering for Satsuko all the time. So, wouldn't you normally assume that he's also feeling worn out? Well, I don't know. Had I said something wrong? Mion sounded a bit taken aback. So that meant Mion can't tell how he's feeling. Because he's always wearing that blank look. So she never considered it. How can she be that insensitive even though she's around him all the time? I was amazed to realize that. Well, anyway, what does he usually do? He looks smart, so does he read a lot of books? Yeah, you're right, he likes to read. He's now reading... what's it called? I continued asking about him. About what he likes, dislikes, and what he thinks about. I asked Sis all these questions because I wanted to know more about him. It was the first time I'd ever been interested in somebody. I didn't want to admit that I had feelings like that. Did I fall in love just because of a stroke on the head? Am I stupid or what? When I remember the feeling of his hand on my head, my heart feels tingly. I tried doing it myself, but it didn't feel the same. I'm stupid. What am I doing? Stroking my own head. Sis, I'm done for. I've became stupid. What? Why are you laughing? In that weird voice. You wouldn't understand these feelings, sis. When would I see him again? I couldn't continue to. Anyway. I felt as if my suffocating life had finally grown brighter. Holy shit, is it? That's not the end.
No,
that's way too early.
That's the halfway.
That is way too... These are some shorter ones, though. You gotta admit, these are some shorter ones.
Like, I feel like this one is just like, it's longer.
It's getting to the point. It's not wasting time. The life I lived really was beginning to suffocate me. I couldn't go out freely, and I always had to make arrangements with Mion before going to work. I thought my life would improve after escaping from the school, but in reality it wasn't that easy. It's not healthy to live like this for too long. Without any friends to hang out with, I felt like I was hibernating. I started to feel the dangers of falling into boredom. All I could think of now was Satoshi Hojo-kun's face. I'd only met him briefly, but my encounter with him had a great impact on my new life. I felt like something exciting was going to happen. Really, I was hyped up like a little kid. The more I thought about it, I realized I'd been thinking about him a lot lately. This might be a crush. I felt a little ridiculous idolizing him in such a romantic way, though. Then out of the blue, I got a chance to see him again. Oh? I saw a familiar face at twilight in the park. He was sitting on the swing. He looked like he was zoning out or maybe deep in thought. He didn't notice me even though I was right in front of him. I reminded myself to speak and act like Mion before talking to him. Hey! What are you doing here? Mion, you surprised me. You don't look so surprised. I've been standing here for a couple minutes now. Didn't you notice me? Have you? Sorry, I didn't. He smiled self-derisively, and shrugged. He looked depressed. Like something was troubling him. Is something bugging you? You can talk to me if you want. Maybe I can help. No, that's okay. Come on, I owe you one from before, Satoshi-kun. Or maybe you don't think this old man could be of any help. Don't you know how mighty I am? I'm okay. You don't have to help me. Huh? What is it then? Are you saying that you don't need help from a girl? Thinking him unfair, I puffed up my cheeks in a sulky gesture. Satoshi-kun noticed that and smiled. No, Mion. It's just, I messed up my swing when they needed me the most. I mentally rifled through all the information about Satoshi-kun that Sis had given me. He doesn't look like much of an athlete, but apparently Satoshi-kun belongs to a junior baseball team. They're called the Hanamizawa Fighters. I doubt he's very skilled since I didn't hear much about his contributions to the team. Maybe that's why he doesn't tell many people that he's a member. Given how down he felt as a result of messing up, though, he must be fairly dedicated. I deduced all of that from what Sis told me and carefully chose my words so as to sound like her. What? Are you feeling down just because of that? Hey, it's not that easy to get over, Mio. I pat his back while chuckling. Satoshi-kun would probably call me insensitive. I knew I should listen to him rather than trying to cheer him up. Acting like Sis was probably the wrong thing to do in this case, but I had no choice. This was just how she'd react in this situation. Instead of feeling down, you should practice even harder and aim for your chance, you know? Practice makes perfect here. Well, if you want to beat the opposing pitcher so badly you're willing to pull some tricks, then I might be able to help you in a few ways. There's no point if I cheat. Satoshi-kun hung his head after letting his regrets out with a big sigh. Surrender, defeat, resignation were all visible in that gesture of his. Are you quick to give up or persistent? If you're a man, then don't you want to be a star and have your 15 minutes of fame? Satoshi-kun grinned and said yes. Of course, that'd be wonderful. But that's not why I play baseball. I just have fun batting and throwing the ball. You can understand that, right? This old man isn't sure. I only love games that I can win. I don't understand how you can love something when you can't be the best at it. Huh. That really sounds like you, Mion. Having realized that I'm trying to make him feel better, he laughed along. He didn't look depressed anymore. Guess he was just feeling down because of the game. He wasn't as depressed as I thought. Maybe I just jumped to conclusions when I saw him sitting alone in the park. You always put your best effort to win. That's admirable, I think. Yeah, it definitely is. He smiled gently and stood up, then he started stroking my head. All of a sudden, I totally wasn't prepared for that.
Heart beating fast. Oh god!
Oh god! Eh? Huh? Oh. I thought this one... He did this last time, but... How can he stroke somebody's head so easily? Felt like I had turned into a little kid. Memories from kindergarten came back to mind. My face must have been red. I felt embarrassed, but also like I was in heaven. Satoshi-kun struck me as though I'm petting a cat. I was blushing with my eyes closed. I felt helpless like a girl being treated by the dentist with her mouth open and her eyes shut. Satoshi-kun didn't seem to notice my feelings at all. He didn't seem to care. I hate him. With my eyes still closed, I waited for him to finish. He suddenly withdrew his hand. I need to get going. My aunt wants some stuff, so I have to go grocery shopping. Okay. My voice faltered. I was so embarrassed. Huh? I'm going shopping, too. What? You are? I thought the maids did all your household stuff. Shoot. I messed up. In the main Sodazaki house, the maids do everything. Therefore, Mion hardly goes grocery shopping, and she brags to some people about that. I should have known better. Still, it wouldn't be too hard to find an excuse. I just happen to be in town, so I thought I'd help out with the household stuff. Is that a problem? That doesn't sound like you. You always avoid doing boring stuff like that. You talk too much. Ooh! Stop stroking my head! Satoshi-kun seemed to be having fun with how embarrassed I get when he patted me. Anyway, I managed to talk my way out of it. He didn't seem to really care about the details. While walking with Satoshi-kun in the shopping district of Kami Ishiki, it suddenly occurred to me. Why had I messed up? I'd known Mio would never go grocery shopping. What an amateurish mistake! Did I make that mistake when I was pretending to be Mion? No. I was probably speaking as Shion. I couldn't keep lying to myself. I had to just admit it. It was simply because I wanted to spend as much time with Satoshi-kun as possible. It's easy to see why I was so attracted to him. I found something intriguing in my boring life. And I didn't have to feel tense because he thought I was somebody else. Etc., etc. His easygoing nature made him fun to be around, and his habit of petting people on the head was fun too. From these symptoms, I could tell I was embracing the feeling of love. I was just casually enjoying that feeling. It wasn't that I fell in love with him. I was just having fun. I could simply spend some fun time with Satoshi-kun without having to think too much. Which one is broccoli? The green one? Or the yellow one? That's cauliflower, Satoshi-kun! Hey, could it be they can't tell lettuce from cabbage either? I'm not that bad. I'm doing my best here. Satoshi-kun stared at the heaps of broccoli and cauliflower. After thinking for a while, he reached out for the wrong one. That's not it! Watching you shop is like being on a roller coaster! It's a lot of fun for me, though. You got me. Satoko can't tell the difference either. Which is broccoli and which one is cauliflower? You guys are too funny! Sissa told me Satoshi was a flaky big brother to his nagging little sister. I hadn't met Satoko, but she must be having a tough time dealing with Satoshi-kun. He stumbles over everything he buys after all. That's cooking salt! It's mixed with pepper, it's different from regular salt! Oh, it is? I think I saw salt and pepper separate in a science experiment one. Stop making excuses and just put it back on the shelf! This is normal salt! What are you getting next?
She's gonna spend way too much time.
Yeah.
Like, out and about.
You're being a great help, Mion. You look smart, but you have serious issues. I think you should study more. That's a little harsh. There. Is this it? In it goes.
Why did this shake?
That's not it! Don't just throw anything in the basket! Check the price and how many servings it is first! My first impression of Satoshi-kun was that he was strong and reliable. But the more I spoke to him, the more surprised that I was at how clumsy and unreliable he was. How do I put it? It was hard to leave him alone. He was dangerous on his own. If he wasn't careful, he might start wondering, do you cross the street when the light is red? Or was it green? And get himself run over by a dump truck! Your total is 1,780 yen. Do you have a member's card? Huh? Oh, yes, I do. Where is it? Oh, sorry. We can't seem to find it, so we'll be alright for today. I finished checking out, ignoring Satoshi-kun as he fished through his wallet full of receipts. That was horrible, Mion. You made me waste points. Don't go slowly fishing through your wallet to look for your member's card in the middle of the evening shopping rush. There was a huge line behind us. Didn't you notice all the evil glares from all the old ladies? Listen, at times like that, you should get it out before reaching the register. Oh, right. That's good to know. It's not only when you go shopping. Same thing goes for when you ride a bus. Satoshi-kun, I bet you don't open your wallet and start looking for change until you're about to get off and have to pay while holding up everyone behind you. No, everyone walks by me and pays their own fare. Ha! You know what that means? You're being a super huge bother to everyone. You need to have the money out beforehand. That's just good manners. You get it? Okay. You're scary today, Mia. Satoshi-kun smiled as if patronizing me. I couldn't believe it. He was definitely the type who made women want to protect him. Sure, he was fine as he was when he had a busybody like me around him. But I couldn't stop worrying whether he was able to function in society without someone like that nearby. We got plastic bags and sorted out what we bought. Satoshi-kun put a pack of tofu at the bottom of the bag. I slapped his hand and put in a milk carton instead. Okay, there we go. Now your aunt won't freak out when she opens this shopping bag in her kitchen. Thanks. It helps me a lot. I don't think I'm very good at shopping. Just Shopping? That's definitely not the only thing.
Shion's being mean to me again.
Just kidding. I'd realized a few things while I was spending time with him today. He's not just bad at shopping, he's also chronically clumsy. In general, you could call him a slow thinker. That meant when he stepped into the quarrel with the punks, he must have needed a lot of courage. He might be a simpleton, but he's not stupid. He's aware of his weakness. So he must have been aware of the danger in this situation. He could have chosen to walk away even though I was in trouble. But he chose to be a man and stepped in. That was really admirable of him.
Oh my god, why does he keep doing
Good boy! You did a great job! There, there. What is it? You struck my head. I'm rewarding you for shopping successfully today! There, there. You're making fun of me, aren't you, Mion? No, I'm not. Can you go home by yourself? Do you know how to get there? You are making fun of me.
What was that voice change?
You are making fun of me.
Steshkin's silky face flushed red. Aw, he's just too cute. At that point, I caught a glimpse of a billboard from the corner of my eye. Piano lessons, call XX. Apaka's class. Junior baseball team members wanted. There's a posting for the team Satoshi belonged to. It showed the day, time, and place of the next practice. By then, I knew just how flaky he was. I figured he must be just the same when playing baseball. Satoshi realized that I was reading the posting. He looked uncomfortable and walked away. I know what you're thinking. I beg you, Mion, don't come to see me play baseball. Am I right? What does that mumbling mean? I know I'm right. Satoshi became quiet after mumbling something. Seemed like he couldn't say anything back since I had been right on the money. Satoshi-kun, you're just too cute. I don't think going silent is a good way to dodge the issue. Well, that might have just been the way innocent people like him would react in a situation like that. See you, Satoshi-kun. It's getting dark, so be careful on your way back. Aren't you going home, Mion? To Namizawa? I have to make a stop somewhere first. Don't worry about me. I'll help you this time. In return. I'm okay. What are you gonna help me with anyway? You should learn to support yourself before you try to help me.
You're really mean today.
He seemed to have some pride at least. He looked a bit upset because he was teased by a girl. But in contrast, I felt very satisfied. As a result, I forgot to keep my guard up. Thank you for the help.
Just making yourself laugh at this point.
No, I did perfectly whenever he opened his eyes and got really close.
That was sweet of you. Wow! While wearing a bright smile, Satoshi-kun suddenly started stroking my head again! I know he's teasing me, but I can't reject him. Keeps doing it only because he's realized I won't resist. See you, Mion. You should go home before it gets dark. See you in school tomorrow. Yeah, see you in school tomorrow, too. In fact, I wouldn't see him tomorrow at all. It felt awkward, but I had to settle for that. I had to thank Sis for letting me use her name. After I separated from him, I found myself giddy and wishing to see him again as soon as possible. I wanted to know more about him. I couldn't wait for my next chance to see him. Actually, maybe there was something I could do. Just like when I obtained my freedom from St. Lucia's. I could choose how to live my life. Whatever. It wasn't that complicated. I just wanted to tease him more. I wanted him to stroke my head more. And, whatever. I already knew the schedule for his baseball team. And I think that might be it.
Why doesn't she just, like, dye her hair and, like, change her look? You know...
I think she doesn't want... That's kind of counterintuitive. I don't know. There might be more to it. As to why she doesn't want to. A hopeless pair. Truly is.
A hopeless pear? Is it spelled as pear like a pear?
Nope, it is P-A-I-R.
No?
Because it was a picture of a piece of broccoli. My aunt finally stopped her hysterical screaming. Today was just like another... No, she stopped.
That was me stopping.
Good job. Thank you for stopping.
Thank you for stopping by today, Mr. Garrison.
Today was just like any other day. I can't remember what set her off. Whatever it was, she changed subjects constantly anyway. It didn't matter. She went on past midnight again. The urge to sleep was pounding the back of my head. Once Satoko had been able to relax, she fell down on the spot and started sleeping, still clinging to my sleeve. I carried Satoko to the bedroom and laid out our futons. Here, Satoko. Your futon is ready. So get in, okay? Satoko crawled in like a worm. She stopped moving once she was inside. I wished I could go to bed too, but I couldn't. My aunt asked me to do some chores. I had to get toothpaste after school tomorrow. I had to write it down somewhere. I had to make rice for lunch tomorrow, so I set the timer. Right, I also had to repile the towels in the bathroom. That was the reason for today's scolding. My aunt will get mad if everything isn't done the way she wants. Oh, and there was something else. I was working at the grocery store the next day. They wanted me to bring an apron. Did we even have an apron in this house? I'd never seen one. My aunt will be sleeping when I go to school, so I won't have time to ask her. What should I do? Since Mion helped me get that job, I don't want to screw it up. In that case, why don't I ask Mion about it at school? She might lend me one. Was there anything else? I was envious of Satoko because she got to go to bed. It was pathetic that I felt that way. Okay. So, Mion helped Satoshi get a job. I wonder if that has any application in the rest of the story.
Okay, so...
But we are setting up Shion and Satoshi.
So I think the reason Satoshi disappears
is because he finds out about Shion?
No, I think the grandmother finds out about Shion and doesn't punish Shion directly.
Oh, because the curse doesn't go for you first.
Yep.
That's not a bad theory. It's not a bad theory.
It takes out everyone that you love.
First.
First.
And then you are last. But this is a year before the events of the question arc, so we know she survives this ordeal.
Mm-hmm.
We know that all but Satoshi and Satoshi's aunt survives. Those are the two that die and disappear. So we know the end of this story, but we don't know the
outcome.
We don't know the how and the why. And the when and the where.
Yeah.
We know the who and the what.
No, we
know the who, the what, and the when. But we don't know anything else.
Why?
We don't know the context.
Why?
We don't know the reasoning.
Yeah.
And the eventual hidden outcome. That's been not revealed to us thus far in the question arc. But the answer arc should be giving our answers, as is the titular title.
Not more questions.
Yes.
They have to give us more
questions. Even though I have more questions now. You're not doing your job well, answer arcs. Not doing your job well.
You're being very...
questionable. Not very answerable.
Yes.
I was holding that burp off for quite a while. It petered out. It petered out. It petered out.
Dang it!
Sometimes you just gotta be a slightly bit quicker.
Alright, guys.
We'll see you on the next one.
And we're sorry.
This is the audience every time we go a week without uploading. I really wanted there to be another one. And we wanted there to be another one too.
Yeah.
But for multiple reasons. One, Sekiro came out, we became extremely distracted. And two, more technical difficulties with Higurashi again, because would you believe it? Another technical difficulty.
Who would have guessed it? Oh god.
But it's fixed, clearly.
Finally.
For
Whatever
now. For
fucking
now.
reason.
I don't know why Higurashi likes to give us so much trouble sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I don't know.
I don't fucking know.
Maybe they don't want us to finish this.
I mean, it's not as bad as Pokemon, where it just refuses to work.
Have you checked on that recently?
Nope.
No? Okay.
I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting to check now that I have the new processor. Though I don't know how much good that'll do.
Yeah, it just kept hard crashing.
So I don't know if that's an issue on the computer or the issue on the software of the capture itself.
Yeah. They're probably
I
gone
don't
now.
know. Okay, so we don't really have much conjecture to go off of on this episode.
This is an answer arc. Like,
yeah, I mean, there's some dots to connect. I mean,
Satoshi,
there's the parallel.
Miya,
There's the parallel between Shion knocking over the bikes,
and
getting saved by Satoshi, versus Keiichi knocking over the bikes, getting saved by Shion.
No, it was Mio.
I thought it was Shion.
Mio.
Oh,
it could have been.
It was probably
Shion.
Shion, though. It was probably Shion.
At that point, we still didn't know. I don't think.
Yeah, I still need to go back to that chapter. I haven't finished rereading that chapter.
That chapter was so...
It's a little confusing, but I think it's meant to be. I think it's meant to be unclear which twin you're talking to. Because you don't know if Shion is acting like Mion. Because it's from the perspective of Keiichi. We don't have that advantage of knowing which twin we're talking to.
Yeah.
If one is pretending to be the other. And at the end, Mion could be pretending to be Shion. Gesundheit. Are you okay? That seemed to take the wind out of you.
Ow!
Hey, Joey, this is you right now.
Okay.
Alright. We'll
I like
see
Satoshi's character, though.
Yeah, he's a bumbling idiot, but...
Kind of like... Koichi? Keiichi?
Yeah, but Keiichi is maniacal.
Huh?
Keiichi is maniacal.
Maniacal?
Maniacal.
Alright.
You don't know what maniacal means.
I never said that.
You've never said the word maniacal.
Maniacal.
Think maniacal laugh.
Oh, like...
Maniacal
devious?
laugh. Like devious. Maniacal. Maniac.
Oh!
It derives from the word maniac.
Does it?
Yeah. It's spelled the same way. It's spelled the same way, but it's said differently.
Why don't they...
Maniacal laugh. Maniacal laugh. You've never heard that?
No. Never heard that.
Such a shame. You should read a book, you fucking illiterate bastard.
I
Stephen King, book 1. What the fuck? Hey, something else.
need to give that back to you.
You should. I mean, if you're not gonna read it, I'll take it back. I can give you a pop-up book.
I like pop-ups.
I bet you do. I might find a JoJo themed one and be like,
Pop-up!
stand up power punch.
You open it too close, the face punch comes out of book.
You just opened your future page.
I'm done. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm leaving.
I'm just gonna end it on that one. Bye, everybody. We gotta fluff out the time somehow. These episodes are shorter. Man, we can't reach a single hour on these. What the fuck's happening? This ain't Higurashi.
This isn't Higurashi.
This isn't 2 hours long.
This
What's
is not,
happening?
This is not the Higurashi you
This
were
is not the
looking
Higurashi you're looking for.
for.